On March 21st, 2011, this is Pulling You number 55. Greeting Bridge friends, it's Michael here at Bridge Hands. On day 4 on avoidance, elimination, and in plays, we're going to take a little diversion. Let's talk about dangerous opponents. Okay, here we go. In this next scenario, we have a 5-2 suit rather than a 4-4. We have 5 in the dummy, nice dummy, ace, queen, 10, 9, 5 times, and a king little in our hand. East, in this case, is a dangerous opponent in another suit. So how do we want to play this so that East does not get in the lead? You'll recall that we want to play through the dangerous opponent. Well, we'd want to start off with the 10 of the suit, and then we would play low to the king. If they hop up with the jack on the first or the second time, fine. We'll come in on another suit and go ahead and take our last tricks. But we have to watch out for the jack fourth or longer in the west hand. If they can get in and come back in another suit through us where we have an unprotected honor on the north hand, we're going to have problems. So we need to play this suit carefully. Yes, they might fall that there's jack third. What percentage of the time do you think the opponents are jack third? In other words, we have 7 and they have 6 in the suit. Well, it's about 36% of the time. This is a more common scenario, is jack fourth. This will happen almost 50%, a little over 48% of the time. And oh, by the way, they can be 5-1 also. There's another 14+% there. And they could even be 6-0, about a percent there also. So we want to play the safe way. We want to go ahead and play it for leading our 10 and then a low to the king. Okay, let's take a look at the corollary. In this case, we're going to have West is going to be the dangerous opponent. Okay, we don't want West to get in the lead. You know we play through West. How do we play the suit combination? Well, we'll start off with the king to a little. And then after the king, we play low to the 9. If they get in the lead over in the east hand, fine. And certainly they could be jack fourth also. So we have to guard against this scenario where they have the more likely distribution, almost 50% here. And 5-0, there's another 14% plus there. Okay, I think you've got it. In our next hand, West has bid the suit, and they are the dangerous opponent in this suit. How do we want to play it? Goes a 7 from West, little from the dummy doubleton, a jack from the east hand, and we have king, queen, little. Do you recall our rule of 7? Good. We want to go ahead and play low. Why is that? Remember, we have 5 in the suit, subtract from 7. We duck twice. Well, we can't really duck twice, but we're hoping that it's a doubleton over here in the east hand. So if it's a 5-3-3-2, we want to disrupt the communication by playing low first of all. Then perhaps West will take their ace. We'll go ahead and give up one of our king-queen, and our last honor in the suit is promoted. Let's take a look at the corollary. Same hands. In this case, East is the dangerous opponent. There is danger elsewhere in another suit. Perhaps in another side suit in the dummy, we have king double thumb opposite 2 little in our hand. Okay, so the 7 to the small, to the jack, and what do we want to do this time? Well, we're going to want to win it, and probably win it with false carding with our king rather than our queen. We're going to go ahead and win the king, then we're going to finesse the side suit and another suit through East, and if West does get in, they have the ace and another one in the suit. They can't jeopardize our queen doubleton. If they play the ace, we duck. If they play little, we win with the queen, and we go ahead and continue our finesse in side suits. Okay, very good. Okay, now that we're up to speed on no trump contracts, let's take a look at the dangerous opponent situation in some suit contracts. Here we go. Okay, we're in 5 of a minor, this being the minor trump suit. And the opening lead was in a side suit. We were able to win that either in our hand or in the dummy. And now we are going to start playing trump. West is the dangerous opponent because in the dummy we have king doubleton in a side suit, clearly for everybody to see. Okay, with West as the dangerous opponent, how do we want to start playing the trump suit? Well, we're going to want to go ahead and play the king in our south hand first of all. Then we're going to want to go ahead and play a low to the jack or the 9 in hand. Either, it won't really matter. But the idea is we're going to protect against queen third over in the west hand. What's the odds of it being 2-2 in the suit versus 3-1? Well, 2-2 is a 40% chance, 3-1 is a 50% chance. So it is likely that one of them will be 3-1. And 10% of the time, you guessed it, it's 4-0. Playing the king will certainly protect against that also, if it's 4-0 over in the west hand. Okay, so much for the west situation. Now let's take a look at the east. Same hands. Scenario this time is we've got King Doubleton in our hand in south. How do we want to play the trump suit this time? East is a dangerous opponent. We want to play the ace to the little, and then can run the jack, or we can go ahead and play low to the 9. Either in this situation will work fine. Okay, let's try a little different twist. In a trump suit, let's take a look at a side suit situation. In this last series, we're going to take a look at some side suit leads. Let's say that we're in a major suit, 5-3, maybe even 5-4, and this happens to be a side suit. The side suit could be 3-3, 3-4. In this case, it's a 4-4 side suit, and the opponents are leading it. They've led an 8 to our dummy ace-queen fourth. In hand, we have jack 10-9 little. Do we want to go ahead and play low and see if we can finesse to the jack? Well, I hope not. This is a suspicious lead. I don't think it's from king 8 and a couple others, or even king 8 third. It looks like it could be a singleton lead. The lead might be something like an 8 to the 4, to the king over by east hand, and all of a sudden our jack 10-9 are not looking so good, because they're going to be leading back the suit. If they're good, they'll play high or low when they return the suit, saying come back in a high suit. Let's say that spades are trump. They come back in a 6 saying give me a heart. Maybe they've got an ace of hearts, or maybe they got an ace of clubs. They come back with a 2. They use suit preference signal on the return after they give a ruff. Then after the ruff comes from the west hand, they lead the heart or they lead the club, and off it goes again. We don't like to see this happen. So we need to go up with the ace right away and start pulling trump. Even if it's from an ace-queen, we want to start pulling trump immediately. In fact, let's take a look at a scenario that bears this in mind. It's sort of like shampooing, isn't it? Wash, rinse, and repeat. Wash, rinse, and repeat. On our last sequence, they're leading a side suit again. They're leading a jack, and in dummy we have ace-queen fourth in hand, king 9-8 little. So in the first segment, we're worried about a side suit singleton. This jack might be a singleton. It certainly doesn't look like it's a jack 10 something, does it? So it's a 4-4-4-1 suit with 4 over in the east hand. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and go to the trump suit. We've now switched to the trump, and we see ace queen 10 fourth in our trump suit, and in our hand we have jack 9-8 little. So let's say that we go ahead and go with a finesse. We lead a jack to a 7, play low in the dummy hand, and they happen to win it with the king. What do you think is going to happen next? Oh yes, our worst nightmare is coming up. So what happens is they're going to be going and getting some roughs. So after they win it, let's say that they go back to our side suit here again. We still have the ace-queen third in the dummy, 9-8 little in our hand, and they have 10, 6, and a 2. They're going to play the suit, and they're going to give their partner a ruff. And if they do suit preference leads, in other words, the person in the east hand knows that partner is going to ruff, they can play a 10 or a 2, whether they want a high or a low card. Let's say spades is trump. They want a heart return. They've got an ace of hearts. They play a 10, asking for a heart return. If they have an ace of clubs, they play a 2 of clubs, saying they want a low suit. They want a club return. And what happens? Here again, it's the old shampoo scenario, isn't it? So in our third and final act, after the side suit singleton lead, they come back and the finesse fails and more roughs. Okay, let's summarize what we've learned today. What are some of the items that come to your mind in considering who is a dangerous opponent? Well, right at the beginning of the bidding, that would be a factor, wouldn't it? If the opponent has made a bid, an overcall, perhaps a preempt, perhaps a takeout double, perhaps a double when we made an artificial Q bid. The leads, the opening lead would certainly be a factor. or the play after the opening lead. Those would be items we would want to think about in evaluating who is a dangerous opponent. Certainly our holdings that are in our hand is as well as the dummy hand. If we have an isolated honor, one that they could lead through, we have an unguarded honor, that would be a factor, wouldn't it? And how about the entries into the hand? We have to think about, can we do a repeated finesse? Or after we do a finesse, can we promote that suit? Can we get to that hand? And finally, let's recap with some of the tactics we use against the dangerous opponent. First and most obvious, the direction of the finesse. We've spoke quite a bit about that today. Another would be the hold-up play, the rule of 7, the ducking play to disrupt the transportation of the opponents, particularly when it's in a no-trump contract. Third would be the suit breaks. We have to keep track of the side suits. We can't just focus and be fixated just on the trump suit. So when an opponent shows out in the suit, that's a big red flag on how the suit splits. Oftentimes we can then do deductions on how the other suits split. We can maybe even assess by the opening bidding a preempt or a person opening a 5-card suit on what the suit breaks are. Sometimes it requires a little extra analysis, some deduction, but we should take our time and consider how are the suits breaking and how will we play against those dangerous opponents. And lastly, well, what have we been speaking about? Avoidance, end plays, and elimination. So sure, the end play that we've been speaking about before. And so we're going to be tying in the avoidance, end play, and elimination to our dangerous opponents. Okay, bridge friends, I hope you enjoyed part 2 of our lesson on the dangerous opponent. For our premium and ultra members, we have animated video with bidding and play. Our video commentary and downloadable files are guaranteed to reinforce your understanding with at-the-table, hands-on bidding and play exercises. And if you're not currently a member, you can enjoy membership privileges for under $10 for a 3-month subscription. So don't delay. Come on down to Bridge Hands and sign up today. Okay, everyone. See you on the flip side. Bye for now.